This video is about transforming your life with inspired dance, an introduction to the 5 phases of the practice. I'm Helen from Creating Shifts with Helen, which is all about helping you to transform and make the changes in your life that you crave. Moving from surviving to thriving, moving from a mundane life where you're just plodding on and getting through things to a life filled with passion. So make sure you stay on till the end for my free bonus resource. Before we would get started in the session, we would set an intention and we would have discovered what our intention was in a coaching session. We would work together to find out what's limiting you, what's holding you back, what's keeping you stuck. Looking at any beliefs, thoughts, narratives, identities, emotions, trauma, whatever it is we find that's holding you back. And our intention for the dance would be to release that and let it go. For the purposes of this, I'm going to say that my intention is to let go of perfection. Perfection limits us greatly. It stifles us because, let's be honest, is anything ever perfect? So if we're waiting for perfection to do things, then we might not ever get anything done. And my example would be if I waited until I was perfect in all my skills, I would never have launched my business. So that's what we'll speak to today. So the first phase, we're warming up the body. I like to do a body scan, scanning for tension and softening those areas, releasing the tension, breathing into those areas, and imagining the tension just melting away. So the warm-up would maybe last about 8 to 10 minutes, and we're softening the body and also getting it warmed up, getting the blood pumping a bit so that we're ready for the remainder of the session. Once we've done that, the next phase of the dance is where we're shedding. So we're shedding that perfectionism. We're shedding that desire, that need to be perfect. And I like to throw it off and stomp it off with my legs. People like to swing it off, even that way. It's finding whatever works for you. Inspired dance is completely about what you feel inspired to do, what your body is leading you to do. So all throughout the phases, you do you. So with the shedding, I also like to shake it off. Shaking it helps to break it all up. Breaks up all that stagnancy. And yeah, we're throwing it off. stamping it off. And this phase would go on for maybe 10 minutes. And then we move into the third phase, which is cultivating what we want instead. So I've got rid of the perfectionism, and now I'm cultivating instead being good enough, doing my best. And for this again, there's a number of ways we can do it. I like to think that those things, being good enough, are simply already a spark inside of my core, and then what I'm doing in the dance is dancing as my body wants, to move that all around my body, so to enlarge that spark and cultivate it all throughout my body. We might move on to sealing it in, same phase, but it's really about cultivating it in whichever way feels right for you. And this phase again, 8 to 10 minutes, before we move on to the fourth phase, which is my favourite phase, and it's all about surrendering. We've shared, we've cultivated, and now we really get lost in our body, maybe in the music, get lost in the dance, and trust our body to work all the magic. So there's not much instruction in this part of the dance. It really is you losing yourself in the dance. And that would go on for about 10 minutes. We're also in this phase celebrating what we've achieved. So celebrating, getting rid of the perfectionist in us, and celebrating what we've cultivated. And then we move on to the fifth phase, which is integration and coming to a still point. So again, we trust our body to know what it needs to do to integrate. My body likes to do stretching kind of movements for integration. Although it can differ too on different days and what it is I've worked on. And we come to a still point, slowly, bringing our body back to its normal state, back to balance. And we take some time to enjoy that stillness too. So, I just used, well, it was one track, but it's gone into a second track. We'd use a different track for each of the phases usually. just for the purposes of this, it wasn't going to be a full session, it's just a taster, so I've just used one track and it's gone into another. But yeah, we'd have different beats of music for the different phases, and we might add other phases too as needed, depending on what we discovered in the coaching session, which really is tailored to what's needed. So those are the 5 phases we would definitely have in an inspired dance session. Head to my website, which is in the description. It's www.creatingshiftswithhelen for my free bonus resource, which is 5 beliefs that could be limiting you. And it's a really powerful way to start to discover what are the beliefs that you're holding that are holding you back and keeping you stuck. So leave your comments in under this. I'd love to hear what you think. And yeah, make sure you go to my website and get that free resource.